You're the first to import and introduce Korean cars into Australia.
Yeah, that's a story.
With Bond Motor Co. in the 80s.
Well, there's a lesson for people watching this. I had a knock on my door in late 1985, a fellow called Danny Fisher, who'd never sold a car in his life before. He was a motor body builder with no money. But through sheer persistence, that was the word, he kept going back to Korea 5 or 6 times. And finally, heavens above knows how he got it, he got the Australian distribution for Hyundai, as they were called in those days. And they said, go and get a big financial brother and we'll give it to you. Now that's an example of what sheer persistence will do, just going back and back and back and asking the question. And he got it. It was incredible. Yeah. So he went up and down Perth. Nobody wanted Hyundai, South Korea, new car, until finally got into Alan Bond's office, or one of Bond's people, and he got to Bondi, and Alan said, get John Hughes involved, and I'll be involved. So he knocked on my door, and we had a discussion, and a few weeks later we founded Bond Motor Sales. Yep. Bond had 50%, Fisher and I had 25%. But they were tough times, as Alan was going through pretty strong financial problems. Severe problems, and we had to put in more money, and Danny got watered down. So in the end it was really just Bond and myself. Yeah. And we pioneered Hyundai, which is now Hyundai in Australia, 1986, 30 years in February this year.
Wow. And it's during that time, if I got it right, you've won 8 years running the global award for most car sales.
From 97 to 2003, I sold more Hyundais than any other dealer in the world. And that's not per capita, that's total number. North America, South America, Asia, Europe.
Unbelievable.
Pretty special out of Perth, wasn't it?
That's extraordinary.
We actually, one year we outsold, in Australia, Hyundai outsold the Commodore.
Wow. And I guess the business is diversified. I mean, you're into transport, finance, a range of different things. Will you be the first to import driverless cars into Australia?
No, because because there's an enormous amount of technology involved in that. That'll be done by the manufacturers.
Okay.
I used to say, probably not in my lifetime, that people would hop in a car and say 31 May Street, East Fremantle, where I used to live, and the car would drive them there. It won't hit anything, it won't break any speed limits, it won't. And I wonder what people are going to do. I mean, you won't read a newspaper because there'll be no newspapers. You're going to sit in the car. What are you going to do with all of that spare time? That's an interesting point. How can you put all the spare time that's coming in the future, robots at home, you ring up and say, put my Heineken on at 17 degrees, or put start cooking the chicken, or whatever you do. Yeah. What are we going to do with all of that spare time? We've got to put that to productive use. I thought that may not happen till after. It's going to happen very, very shortly.
Well, I'll pose this question to you. I mean, why is John Hughes Group so successful?
Passion. Absolutely passionate about what I do. The world is full of passionless people, Michael. They get up in the morning. Look, I'm not being overly critical now, but you should just have. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be for business. Whatever you do, be passionate about it. Passion, focus. Yeah. Be totally focused. Excuse me. Alan Bond said to me a long time ago. It was about the time he was buying telephone companies in Chile and Channel 9 and WA newspaper. He said, John, you're like the engine driver who drives the train from Perth to Fremantle and back. He said, you might be a good engine driver, but all you do is go from Perth to Fremantle and back. One track, single-minded, Next morning, looking in the mirror, shaving, maybe I should be buying telephone companies in Chile and WA newspapers. I didn't have the expertise, I didn't have the money, so I didn't do it. Yeah. But Michael, let me tell you, I'm still driving that train from Perth to Fremantle and back, and that's all that I do. But I seriously believe I'm the best train driver in the world.
Yeah, good answer.
Passion, focus, discipline. Apply discipline to yourself, apply discipline to your staff. The time you get up, the time you go to bed, what you eat, your exercise, discipline, customer service. I mean, I could write the book about customer service. I take all of my own phone calls. Yeah. To cut through what used to happen in the past, I pick up the phone. Can I speak to Billy Boggs, please? Yes, sir. Whom shall I say is calling? Now, why would you do that? If you're in business and you're dealing with people. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're in the people business. I don't care if you're a lawyer or a doctor or a blacksmith. You're in the business of people. And yet you get asked, who shall I say is calling? What's the nature of your business? What firm or organisation do you represent? I mean, what's that got to do with anything? Who don't you want to talk to? Maybe two people. Somebody trying to sell you something? Yeah. I mean, how incredibly bad is that? Trying to sell you something? Isn't that what life's all about? Yeah. Or maybe it's someone with a complaint. And surely you would welcome a complaint. You want to know about it because you want to know what you're doing wrong if you're doing something wrong. Yeah. And more importantly, you want to be able to fix it. When you're dealing with your customer, it's big you, little me. You put your customer on a pedestal. You and I know, we all know out there, that they're not always right. Yep. But they are. They are.
Fair enough.
And you can win the battle and lose the war. So put your customers on a pedestal. And another thing about customer service, how often do we pick up the phone after someone's done business with us or emailed them, not email, I'm not into emails, personal contact, and thank them for the business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mr. Jones, I mowed your lawn last week. For the first time. I just want to be sure you're totally satisfied with the service. And while I've got you on the phone, can I ask you another question or two, please? Was there anything more I could have done for you? Yeah. Why don't we do that? And do we survey all of our customers? I do. I read every one when they come back. I do it at home on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Now, if I get an adverse comment, I'll ring them up on a Sunday morning. And they'll say to me, skeptically, is that really, Mr. Hughes? I say, yes. And they say, but it's Sunday. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that?